Emma and the Whale by Julie Case and Lee White. The old house where Emma lived had crooked walls and slanting floors, but Emma didn't mind. It was close to the ocean, and that was her favorite place to be. There's Emma. After school, Emma always took her dog Nemo to play at the beach. They combed the shore for shells and stones and sea glass. At low tide, that's when they found the best treasures. Sometimes Emma saw whales in the water. Sometimes she saw dolphins. And once a loggerhead turtle. She liked to picture an ocean teeming with life, with no balloons or bottles spit to shore.
Wow.
Emma often imagined traveling back to olden times when whalers had lived in her seaside hamlet. She would shout at the captains, "Please don't hurt the whales," and they would listen. And here she is saying, "Please don't hurt the whales." The captain is listening to her, and he decides to not hurt the whale. One foggy day, Emma grabbed a small bucket because the tide was low, and her green jacket because she thought it might rain. She and Nemo headed down Beach Lane towards the ocean. Emma felt droplets on her cheeks. She smelled the salty air. The sea and the sky swirled together as she skipped past the misty dunes to the shoreline. Emma and Nemo frolicked in the surf. They followed the tide line. They sank their toes in the sand. The drizzle began softly, but Emma and her cozy wool sweater and her jacket to keep her warm. "We're having minestrone soup and rosemary bread for dinner," she thought. "I'll turn around soon." There she goes. Looks like she's having fun with her dog in the ocean.
We in ocean.
Yeah, she's in the ocean, isn't she? One summer long ago, Emma and her friends had lined up to run across a great gray log that had washed ashore. When Emma had closed her eyes, she'd become a tightrope walker, the first to cross the sea. Every so often, a log would arrive, maybe from down the street, maybe from the Bahamas or the Azores. Nemo started barking. "Woof! Woof! Woof!" That's so unlike him, thought Emma. She followed Emma's stare down the beach. "What is that?" she wondered. "I think it's a drift log." What is that? Then she realized it's not a log. It's a whale!
Oh, look,
He washed ashore. Emma ran closer. "I'm not going to hurt you," she whispered, kneeling down. The whale stretched across the sand, a dark body, tail, flippers, and pectoral fins. Emma looked at its big black eye. The wide-eyed whale stared back. "You must be a baby. I'm a friend. I will help you. Thank you, the whale's voice sounded in her head. Did you just speak to me? I did. Emma felt the whale reply. Bigger raindrops fell, and Emma put her hand on the whale's back. She felt its breaths. She saw its blowhole. Emma felt the suffering in the big body. She couldn't say how, but she knew the whale was a girl like her. I have to get you back to the water, Emma said. Emma and the whale watched as waves arrived on shore, uncurled and swept back to the sea. The ocean never stops, Emma marveled. The tide was coming in. It reached a flipper. The water's rising, she said. Soon you can swim home. I'm scared. Don't be, Emma replied. Think of your pod and your family. Picture yourself swimming free. What is she doing? She's helping the whale. She's putting water on the whale to keep the whale wet. She touched the little whale. It's time. The whale was even heavier than she looked. Emma pushed hard and tumbled onto her. I'm sorry. Emma's eyes welled with tears. She took a deep breath and tried again. I can do this. As the waves unrolled, Emma pushed and pushed and pushed. The whale began to wriggle. The surf swirled around them. The water got deeper and the ocean did the work. There she is. She's pushing the whale back into the ocean. A few more pushes and the whale slipped past Emma and ducked under a wave. She was beyond the break, over the sandbar, and out to sea. There she goes. Emma saw the whale look back. A bit beyond, another whale hovered. That must be her mother. Emma stood, stunned, breathless and sopping wet. She watched the whales swim off together. Goodbye, she called. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. The whale's song rang. There's Emma. And she's saying goodbye to the baby whale and her mama. The whales disappeared into the fog. Emma remained in the shallowest water. Nemo lingered on the sand. Nemo! Emma shouted and ran to her dog. She hugged him tightly. And they started for home. There they go back home.
Wow.
That night, sleep came easily, and Emma dreamed of the whale, her legs wrapped around the whale's big back. They sailed through turquoise waters beside pink sand beaches. Emma gripped the whale's back with her knees. Her hair was loose, her arms reached out, and she was laughing.